Hello, and welcome everyone. Um, I am so excited to be here with you. This is Oasis Wave, game night number two. For those of you who don't know me, I am Tassel, the community manager here at My Neighbor Alice, and today I am sharing the stage with Attila, one of our game designers. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. This is a first experience for me also.
Well, we're real excited to have you on here and get your expertise so we go through some of the stuff on here. So we got a real busy night for you guys. We're real excited. We're going to be showcasing another one of our amazing player-created courses. This one you guys are going to be absolutely just astounded by. I'm sure. I know I am. The rules of this stream are similar to the last one. So we're going to go ahead and join on the plot and do a fishing task. That's what we'll use for participation. So go ahead and once I share the land, do fish and then go to the leaderboard on the website and claim the task. The rules are pretty simple. Just get to the end. I'll go ahead and also post it in Discord. And a little later in the stream, I will go ahead and be sharing some of the clues for the fishing expedition quest. There's a couple of those. Anyone who's still struggling with where those pesky locations are for the fishing riddles, I got your back. Don't worry, I'll help you out with all of that. And yeah, and then towards the end of the stream, what all the supers and OGs are, I'm sure, are excited about the little pudgy delegation. So we'll be go ahead and doing another live uh, delegation to one lucky winner. So yeah, let's get stuck into it. I'm real excited here. By the way, for everyone who joins tonight and does the fishing task, you'll be getting 500 points for joining, as long as you do the task. You'll be then getting a special NFT to go along with that. And for the three people that actually complete the course, or for the people that get furthest in the course, if there isn't one, they'll be getting an additional 500 points. And for the course creators. All right. Well, before let's get stuck into it, then I'll go ahead and share my screen in game, and we'll meet on the plot. I'll do that at the same time. I'll go ahead and share the description on Discord so that we can all follow along, depending on how you're following along here today. But maybe while I'm doing that, Tilla, you can tell us a little bit about what a game designer does, if you would please.
Okay, the game designer it's mostly responsible for coming up with the game ideas, like what are the features inside the game, what are the contents in the game, and writing specification briefing for the different departments. For example, as a game designer, I come up with the feature, create a proposal, and write the specification for a game design document for developers to implement. Also, when we have a feature and it needs art or thing, then we write briefings. Then, whenever the feature is developed, like you are following the feature development and like playing and trying to test your ideas, because sometimes as a game designer, you have an idea, but the actual uh, like if the feature is good or it's you find it out through playing it, like you need to play test it, like what you do, then you follow up with the development of feature, play test it, and then give feedback for developers or UI designers or artists regarding further improvement and changes. And also, as a game designer, I'm responsible for some parts of the game economy, like tweaking the values of the game economy, like trying to iterate and improve the features and the values, like how it works. Like mostly these are game designer tasks, but it depends also on the company and the type of the project, like how much involved you are in different aspects. Before working on Alice, I worked on free-to-play games, and that they had different processes in some aspects.
Oh, awesome, man! I really appreciate you going through all of that. That's really interesting to know, kind of, what goes on behind the scenes with that. If you guys could come to plot 3085741. That's 3085741. I also posted in game, so you can go ahead and just follow it here as well. Now's a good opportunity to fish. Don't worry if you forgot a fishing pole or don't have bait or for whatever reason. Don't start the actual. Don't leave yet. But yeah. So if wow, look at all these people in here. This is amazing. But yeah, go ahead and fish. If you haven't, don't worry. I'm going to leave the stream open for 1 hour after the stream, at which point it will close off forever. But yeah, so looks like there is a lot of people here. I'm going to give it just a few seconds to let everyone load in because I know sometimes it takes a little while, and then we'll get going. So I'll do a countdown from 5. I guess I'll start now since I can see people are anxious to get going. I'll do it in game so you can see. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go, 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 guys. Let's see what's going on. Remember, the rules are in Discord as well. But basically, you're just racing to get to the end, though. I'm going to go ahead and go into where we can see people running through here. This, by the way, is the Dragon course that Kuma and Golnez made. It's absolutely unbelievable. The creativity and the time that it would have taken to put this together is unbelievable. I mean, look at this, guys. And there's even look, an Alice Adventure airdrop Oasis wave. I mean, this is just wild. What do you think?
I really like the creativity and also like so many aspects of the game feature, like landscaping and also like just placing the placements. Like uh, there are things which, as a designer, I never thought that people will do. Like when first we designed the landscaping tool, it and not at the minimap, like what we actually observe that some players are just doing art on the minimap, and like when we were creating that feature we never thought about of like using the minimap as a creation, like just showcasing an art and creating a 2D art. Like there are so many things which as a designer you cannot predict, and people are actually doing more things with the feature than what you originally designed for.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even imagine. And that's the thing too is you see these people in there and they have to work within the confines, the limitations that they might have, as that the project grows and as people as more features continually roll in. But there's still ways to just make it so creative, and I'm always surprised by just how creative people can be and what the things that they're adding as like just like the dragon here. So I'm just going to go over and showcase some of the different parts of the thing of the course. The wings of the dragon are a maze. I mean that's just wild. Like putting and then getting all the perspective right on here, getting like the dragon hair for the back of the back of the head, and just where all the placeables are. I can see that people are still there's people into the next section though, so they're slowly making their way through, which is it's awesome to see. I know that some of these jumps are challenging, guys. Just make sure that you kind of hop on the items and try to get over things. It's not trying to trick you. Just some of the jumps are just a little bit difficult to make. Yeah, so we got Zodiac here and Ack are in the kind of tied here in the second room, working their way across to this next section.
it's it's amazing.
Isn't it though? I know. I love just actually seeing how people go. I'm gonna just showcase a little bit more, just because it's kind of cool to see everything. So it looks like it comes over in this section, and this is a big one, so I want to make sure that I kind of give it enough attention. You got the maze section. Looks like it opens up into the section over here, and then it becomes the fire. And then there's a whole nother section over here. So this is a double plot design for anyone wondering. The first part that you're in right now was created by Golnez, so anyone who's having a hard time, you could blame Golnez. And then the next section, when you get to the fire, that is created by Kuma. And yeah, so when I look at all this and I see just all of the different placeables and just the different ways that they're using all these assets and the height and the terrain, just everything. I just it's kind of amazing that they can get so much out of this, like just so much value from one, like this little section. Um, what do you find difficult about like creating in this space, like as a in your opinion, like what's the difference between like creating in a web3 space? Like what challenges do you face?
Uh, like in general, I think Web3 has multiple like hardships which we need to solve. One of the things which is interesting with Web3 is just getting the adoption of getting people to play the game and test it out. Because usually I'm coming from free to play, and I also worked for a short time in AAA. Like you have the platforms and you can reach easily the users, but in Web3, because currently Steam doesn't allow Web3 games, and most of the mobile web stores are not allowing Web3 games. Like for us, one of the first and hardest thing was just to solve the adoption, like how we can get the game in front of the players, and we spent quite a lot of time just developing the web GPU version and making Web3 out of like making the onboarding and accessing the game much easier. Like the barrier of entry was, I think, it's a large issue for the Web3 games, and we are working on it. Like that's for sure challenging. Also, there is challenging as a game designer designing features for Web3 games. It's much harder in some parts, because in classical gaming you have web servers, and they are responding in milliseconds. But in blockchain games, our game is quite special because we are doing quite a lot of things. Like most of our game logic, or all of the game logic, to be said, it's on chain, and because it's on chain, it needs like different design approaches, because like all the events, what you do, like farming, fishing, and these are registered on chain, and the response time of a blockchain, like our blockchain, is really fast, but still needs, for example, a second to be for the transaction to be confirmed. And this makes designing feedback loops for the users, and just communicating what's happening, it's much harder. For example, it's a good example for us is the white seeds, where you plant a white seed and the outcome is random. And how we can do this, we need, like, you need to plant it, it needs to happen on the chain, the random output, and then we need to display it. And for example, in the case of white seed, until the blockchain decides like what will be the output, we have this glowy effect of purplish effect, which showcases the undecided state. But um, same is true for other features, where you would like as a user an instant input, but we cannot give you an instant input because everything is happening on chain. And for these, we needed to come up with different smaller feedbacks. Like, for example, when you are harvesting resource nodes, you have these toast, like it's showing like how many you harvested on the site. It gives you instant feedback, but actually, the item will be credited whenever you finish the action.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, it does sound like there's, it's interesting because you have to find creative ways to make, these things work. And yeah, I often think about with blockchain, it gets compared to Web 2 a lot, but it's really a pioneering effort, going in here and creating something. You're not doing something that's been done over and over and over. You're doing something for the first time, and it makes it such a different challenge. It's a lot of people, there's a lot of MMOs out there or different type of games, like farming games and stuff like that, but none of them using, this type of technology, none of them having to bridge the gaps of knowledge and things that haven't been done before. So it's just really fascinating seeing it all happen. So we got three people in the third room here, which is fantastic. We got Super Soju, Old Master, and Adamark working their way through this next section. Oh no, we got someone in the fourth section as well, into the maze section. We got Zordiac. So people are making it through, guys. It's not. I know it's a little bit of a challenge, but it can be done. And then we have people making it into a lot of people in that second room. It's really really cool. And you got some people over here just kicking it and fishing, as you do. we fish in our game, right?
Yeah. Um, with this new big landscaping update coming with changes, what you are the most excited for? Because now I just mesmerized with what people created with this tool, but I'm really curious, like what the new tool will do and what you are most excited for.
Oh, for me, from the community aspect of it, I think it's the ease of use, the just how it takes away a little bit of that frustration, of having to click over and over and over, and being able to create big sections of wall, like the wall, being able, like this right here, it still would take a lot of work, just because it's intricate, it has a lot of different components to it, and of course then there's the placeable items and stuff on there. But if you could just create some of the wall, and then one click a whole section in, that is such a huge thing. And then I'd say also a next thing I'm really excited about with the landscaping feature, the update, is being able to chat with people. So many times I'm in game, and I'm landscaping, and I just kind of get into my own thing, and I might be in there for an hour or longer, because it is time consuming, and I miss whole conversations or a trade that I wanted to make because I didn't even know what was happening. So for me, that's a big one, and I think that the rest of the community will like that. Plus, there's some really cool updates with it, like being able to pick like the select sector, and fill in certain areas, almost like a flood, is really really cool. Yeah, it's really made with the to simplify the process. And also I think it's great from a new player's perspective too. If you come in, it's less frustrating, and you can make things quicker, and maybe if you mess up, then it takes you a lot less time to correct that error. So I think that just in general, it's just a big quality of life improvement. This is cool. I'm seeing there's a couple people in the maze section. It's really cool seeing people try to work their way through. What were you gonna say? Sorry about that.
Um, it's interesting, like there are different types of mazes which player create, and there are some which are readable through the minimap. But I really I one in one of the previous game nights, somebody did a maze using placeables, and because the as a wall, and it was so hard because you get used to it of like not cheating, just using all the tools which are available, for example the minimap, and see like the shape of the maze. But because placeable are not visible on the minimap, like that maze was like you had to go in blind. Yes,
Yeah, yeah. No, go ahead. Sorry.
still people are using the camera mode, but I think one of if you want to make it like two things, small things which we discussed, and it maybe would be interesting to have this type of no fly zone and no camera mode, or like disabling some features for specifically, like as a landowner you can configure it for your land, and that would make it even harder. Like no camera mode, then it actually makes it much harder to solve because you need to go
Yeah,
through it more.
yeah. It's funny. I actually did that. I mean, I'm not sure the persons that you saw, but I remember at one point I created a maze out of acorn pillars, and I specifically did it to kind of make it difficult because you can't see those on the mini map. So it was just like a small maze that I did, but I remember that I found it. It was fun to do, but once I found out that you couldn't kind of track your way, I thought it would be a good way of kind of obscuring a player's view, where you can't just. I mean, of course, like you say, you can use the camera and zoom out currently, but that was the kind of the method that I used. Wow, so we got some people like moving through it. We got people that are definitely spreading out into different sections now. Sorry if I'm making anyone dizzy here. I'm trying to make sure I can follow all the action on here. There's so many people in here. This is really cool to see. All right. Well, I guess it'd be a good time to start giving out some clues to some of those pesky fishing riddles. I think that now's a good time to go into that a bit. So for one of them, it talks about. It says it may look like tourney, the yellows you know, but this land holds a title where only lords go. The trick to this riddle, the clue to your quest, is to fish in the passage that lies to the west. So for that one, it it looks like Tourney World. So I can tell you guys right now that another land that looks like Tourney World that's not, like it uses the same type of art and display how it looks, is called Lord's Passage, and that was kind of alluded to in there. So it looks like Tourney. That's Lord's Passage. So go to Lord's Passage if you want to for this one. And it says far to the west. So that one's a kind of an easy one for you guys, though. But if you were still being a little bit confused on it, Lord's Passage is kind of the yellowy aesthetic that looks exactly like Tourney World. And then go to the plot as far to the west that's owned by Alice and fish there, and that should complete your fishing quest. If there's two, then you'll just try both of them, whichever. But you need to go all the way to the west. All right. And the next one says, in nature's rest, a lake runs wide, a twin to Pioneer Point, though not inside. At the western edge of Alice's shore, cast your line and seek once more. So, just to break that down, the lake runs wide. Well, okay, the only area that I know where the lake runs wide. Let me see here, just to make sure I got all my notes in here proper. So, if I were to actually, I can even do it on stream for you guys. Let's come out of here, go into this for a second while people work through there. So if you open up the map here, and it says in nature's rest, okay, so in nature's rest, and a twin to Pioneer Point. So not Pioneer Point, but looks like it. Well, that's Timber Coast, I can just tell you, because it has the exact same look as Timber Coast. And it says looking for a lake, a wide lake. Well, this looks like a wide lake right here, so I'm showing you guys right on here. And then it says at the western edge of Alice's shore. So if this is Alice's shore, this is north, south, east, and west. It might be somewhere over here. And yeah, that's about as much as I can do with that, telling you exactly where the location is, guys. All right, let's check in on the action. Maybe while I'm checking on the action, you can tell me a little bit about when you're designing tools like landscaping, what experiences do you hope players have?
Like landscaping for me, it's a creativity tool. Like originally when we discussed the feature and started working on it, it's like how can we allow as much flexibility and creativity? Like that was our goal. We usually, and then afterwards. What we want to do, like give players tools which allow them to express that creativity faster or easier. Like that's our goal. And or like for example, in the landscaping, when we originally designed the base functionality, we came out and we saw a lot of things which we didn't expect originally from the players, and how they started to use it, what they are creating. And then based on the feedbacks which we got, we tried to add tools and brushes and functionalities which allow them to create more easily these designs. And also, I think the next steps for landscaping is even to make it more easier and add more variety on what you can do with your land. Like we added extra foliage types for it. We added also other decoration, and you can paint the grounds. Like we try to come up with systems which allow you to express yourself much more. And there are things which we didn't expect, and players started to do it, and then we actually embrace them. Like for example, originally the minimap didn't have this high distribution, like it was and now we made the on the minimap to be the height more visible. Not now, actually, it was a bit longer time ago, but we made it visible because we saw that people want to do pixel art with it, and we wanted to allow to them, like we tried to expand on the creative tool set and see how players are engaging with it, and try to reinforce the things which players actually invent with the thing, and allow them to self-express more. Like landscaping,
Yeah,
I
no,
think it's a self-expression too for now.
oh yeah, no, it's a huge self-expression tool. I mean, that's how I use it as well. It's such an interesting thing. I mean, even like if you look here, right? So this isn't; those walls are not intended for to spell out the word fly, but this is such an awesome use of it, right? You can, I mean, who says you can't use walls to spell out things that in this? It's such a good way to do it, and that's for a bunch of different things, right? Right here it says goal, and I mean, that's where the players are trying to get to here, and it's such a cool way to do it, right? They got the pudgy ship up on top of this area. By the way, shout out to Zordiak, who's and as far as I know, is in first place here already, most of the way through Kuma's section, the fire part of the course. Absolutely awesome to see someone that's made it this far already. Especially since this is not an easy course. We got Ayak and also on Kuma's fire section in a different part of the course, just a little bit further back. Let me see if I can spot anyone else. I don't want to miss the action, especially as people start getting towards the end. And keep an eye out. But yeah, just such a you're 100% though, right? It's such a good way to express yourself. Like just turning this whole thing into this massive creation where there's mazes and obstacle course where you have to jump across certain section and make these pretty difficult jumps in certain areas. And like, look, I mean, these haven't even been out that long. These are the new umbrellas, and look how many of them already. Yeah.
Uh, I tried to do a course. Actually, it's more like a building on myself. It's like an old hanging gardens. It's inspired by an old Sumerian building, and it has these really intricate steps. And I also wanted to tie down the ground, but I need almost 5,000 ties in order to cover the building. And it's super fun to see like players actually covering with placeable lands, because like after a while I started to just go to the market and purchase the tiles because I was so uh, like it was so slow to craft them. And now when I
Yeah.
see like people having these amount of assets, it like it shows the effort what they do, because it's not only the landscaping but just crafting, getting the resources for all those assets, placing them, managing them. Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it really is, and it's a whole yeah, like you're right. It's a whole effort, right? You have to go through, you know. I mean, I definitely purchase resources off the marketplace all the time. I'm a bit lazy when it comes to certain things, and if I'm like a couple resources short, and I know that it's like an 8-hour craft, I'll do them, and I know I want to do it before I go to bed. I'll go ahead and grab what I need off of there, just because it's easy, and there's usually a lot of resources on the market that people sell pretty cheap too. So. Um, yeah, no, but it's a lot. But you also go out and collect them all and stuff. I mean, it's just such an awesome way to be able to. I mean, this right here is an obscene amount of umbrellas in this little area. But yeah, no, it's really cool. Let's see what we got.
and, and and it's also fun to see like, okay, we have an intent for these placeables, like okay, it's a decoration, we design it with one purpose, and players come up with a different purpose for it, or they are incorporating like, as a designer, I never thought that they will do this as a cover, like to use the umbrellas, and some of the gating man is for some courses, like they use the gate, the chair, and all of these things. And it's fun when players find another functionality which you never designed for.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I think that really kind of that's what really sets apart, like when you're when people are trying to be creative, is using something in its place to kind of get the not just the look, but like the effect that you're after. Like this fire here is, I mean, obviously it's intricate and there's a lot going on here, but it's the way that they've used this space, the way that Kuma's used this space to really kind of uh, just to such good effect, right? Like this section here is its own like little mini maze, and I can see some air coming up out of these trees, so I know that there's you can pop up in the air here. Not exactly sure how you get to that little section, but like maybe it's just for the look. Maybe that's just for the look they're going for, or maybe it's not. Maybe it is an actual function that it's trying to. Yeah, it's just really really cool seeing how people use everything. We got Ayak and Old Master. It looks like in second place. I think Zodiac is still in first. Not sure. I don't see anyone's made it to the goal yet, but there's definitely some people that are moving through. Oh yeah, there's Zodiac.
And it's also fun to see, like, sometimes there are bugs which became features because players are. It's a good example, for example, the trampoline named after you. Like, originally it was a barrel which had a bug which pushed you up, like it worked as a trampoline. And then we wanted to embrace, we saw that people created nice things with it, and that it was a bug and it became a feature. Like, okay, then people need that trampoline, then we make it happen. And there are, I think, multiple things which we added this way, that okay, we saw that how players are using, okay, then for the next we are releasing next asset, we try to incorporate, like, okay, let's make it such a way that they can use it also this way. And yeah, uh,
Yeah,
uh,
definitely. Yeah, it's such a it's funny too is that thing with the trampoline. I remember when that happened, and I saw I immediately saw the utility in it because I was like, oh, this is amazing, and I didn't realize until after I had created my own little challenge that I put together that if you change the directionality of the barrel, it actually drops you to the bottom. So my second iteration on that, I made a bunch of traps so that you had to pick the right barrel, otherwise it drops you back to the beginning. Yeah, it's such a cool thing. Yeah, I love that about my neighbor Alice, actually, that that if there's a good utility and it's something that can be implemented and that the community wants it, that it does often become something. I mean, there's also limitations, of course, things that can and cannot be put in to a game. But I think that if something's really wanted and it kind of aligns with the value and the direction, I think that yeah, they're just so happy to accommodate, because in the end it's all about the players, right? This game's only awesome because of all these people that show up. This is why we're here.
exactly. And there we got so many valuable feedback for the landscaping tool, for in general, for the whole game. But I think a lot of uh, feedback got incorporated in this new landscaping release. We also looking into incorporating some feedback regarding the storefront functionality, like the flea market and so on.
Oh, nice. You're just taking a step back here and taking a look at where everyone's at. Still kind of at the same section where I think we got Zodiac in first place, and then Ayak and is it Old Master in third? Obviously I'll see them as they move through here a little bit, but we got some more people moving through the other section too. I can see Super Soju is just about to move into Akuma's section of the course, which is really awesome to see. It's challenging to get to this section. That maze gave me a real run for my money. Got Adamark over here in the maze section. Yeah, there's just it's really cool seeing people kind of get kind of spread out among the course as they as the because each of these is kind of a bit of a skill check, but after you get through it, you can kind of move on to the next.
Yeah, I am really bad in some of these jumping challenges. Like I I tried I think one from two game nights, or I tried one to do. It was like, I think, a month ago, or something. And looking at people, like how fast they run through it, and I was a designer. I played the game daily basis, but yeah, some players are super talented with also these jumping challenges, and also just playing the challenges itself. Like there are some tricky jobs which it took time for me to learn, but
Yeah.
also there are some players who have really, really accurate and good jumping skills.
Yeah, and honestly, yeah, so with these this course specifically, because obviously I run all these too to make sure that they're possible, that you can do these. That's part of the criteria on how we pick these, and they are challenging. And some of them are, though, it's kind of just knowing what to do. It's like, okay, what's the next thing that I'm supposed to do? And that's part of these challenges as well. That's why we said at the beginning, this is the goal. We didn't necessarily tell them how to get to the goal. That's part of the fun is exploring this, right? This is a combination of, I can't even say how many hours it would have taken both Golnez and Kuma to create this, but many, many hours, especially with the current landscaping feature. So yeah, it's just amazing, seeing people get through there. I think we have Zordiak in the Ayak and Zordiak in like the second to last section, which is really, really cool. By the way, we have about 10 more minutes, and before the end of the stream, I know everyone's excited to do the little pudgy delegation giveaway as well. But I want to run this all the way up till the end to give everyone a proper opportunity to get as far as they can. Um, yeah. Does it, as the game, it must be really gratifying seeing it kind of start off, where it started off as like, just the simple fishing and.
I'm working on this project almost for 3 years. Like I joined in December 22. And then we had fishing and farming. Like the first feature which I worked on was crafting, and like the game changed so much in that period. Yeah, in three, like seeing it, and sometimes when I joined, I also looked at the earliest versions. Like I think if you go to the YouTube by Neighbor Alice, there is some early prototype version before alpha seasons and so on. And that game and the current game is like totally different. And there
Yeah,
are
night.
so many things that we would like to do. It like it progressed quite a lot, and there are so many things which we still need to do and do. Like, but I really enjoy like the evolution and it's visible. Like I remember like when I joined, like the plots were just empty places, and you just walked around, and now you have actually all these things to look at, like foliage, resource notes. There is the number of items inside the game. Like we are constantly adding new item, new functionalities. Yeah, it's totally different, but it's still quite a lot of things to do. Like, but
Oh,
this is the nice part of working on an MMO, because it's like it's never ending. Like for a game designer, there is not that the game is done. Like especially like these type of games are never done. Just this is the amount of feature which is ready now, and you have uh, long laundry list of things which you would like to do, things which the community requested and you want to do, things which are just nice idea. You want to do it. It and yeah, it's never ending. Like
yeah.
that's the interesting part of these type of games, that you it's never finished. It's just that you still have a backlog and just adding and adding to it.
I mean, honestly, that's kind of the one of the nice things about it, though, right? That it's never ending, and that like I think that makes it kind of amazing, right? That means that you can look forward to like development forever. That new things being added to the game continually, and eventually get to new features coming in all the time. I think that's such a great thing.
Yeah, this, and also having periodically released, you see players how they are engaging with the feature, and then improving, modifying those features, taking into account like how they want to further develop, like what they want players to see, and sometimes you have just a feature, you put it out, and then you see how players are engaging with it, and then you can start. It gives you newer ideas, like the community gives you new ideas, and also just seeing what people create gives you new ideas. Like it's a constant iteration.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's one of the things I always I remember when I put in when when I first started putting in Discord suggestions and started seeing them in there. I thought, oh, this I thought this would be really cool, or this would be a really neat feature, and I was floored by like actually some of them getting put in. I was like, whoa, that actually must have been a good suggestion then, and I think it's been one of the most exciting things for me on this project since I've been here is that that I can tell that the community is always really being listened to. I mean, we have obviously room to grow, and things are being changed all the time, and there's new features being added, and there's some pain points that that we have to address, and that's which is typical of any game really. But it's good seeing the trajectory. It's nice seeing every iteration, every new version of the game is a constant improvement, and that's just amazing to see. And it's this because of the players giving such good suggestions. It's because of people actually engaging and wanting things. So it's fantastic. We have I believe we have Zodiac in first. Yep, Zodiac's in first place. Looks like he's trapped under some umbrellas, which means he's in the right place. Old Master in second. We got Adamark in here too. Yeah, we got about 4 or 5 more minutes, guys, and then I'm gonna have to call it based on who's the farthest in here, and we're gonna have to move over to the Little Pudgy delegation. But that's totally fine. You're more than welcome to continue and see if you can get to the end. I imagine that there'll be definitely some people that get to the end based on where they're at in this progression here. But yeah, well, let's do a real quick pan over again to see kind of where everyone's at. So we got a cluster of people fishing in the Dragon Tail. Some people stuck in the second area, still trying to work their way through. Looks like a few people are moved into the third area, just like the body of the dragon. Got some people in the maze too. This is really fantastic to see how many people like all kind of split up and in different areas. And as a landscaper myself, it's really kind of this is amazing because I thought I was good. I thought that I'm all right. It's not like I'm horrible, but some of the creativity, man, really blows me away. I definitely emulate some of these people's some of their skill and stuff because I mean they're great. I mean what they're doing is incredible.
There are so many things which I copied from my plot from other players, like just going around and seeing like some of them just challenge plots, some of them are just randomly going and oh, this is a nice idea, like uh, how they do it. I really like this creative way of you have the resource nodes and everybody wants to move it away because of the landscaping, but then people come up with how to incorporate the resource nodes on the land, the resources in the landscaping, and still it's optimized to harvest it, but it's also visually optimized because I am, to be honest, I'm almost hardcore just min-maxer of like putting everything next to each other in nice line and just harvesting one by one. But then I see like people are like having almost that, but also making it visually appealing, which I think it's super nice.
Yeah, I remember in Jark's competition, the Golnaz actually won that competition. So congrats, by the way, on that one. If I'm sure I told you, but and it was a mermaid that was made, and the use of the trees was just amazing. Like it made the bra of the mermaid and the shells that were all there. It's just like I said, some of it would have even hard to think of, let alone how to use those resources in an effective way. So yeah, really really cool stuff.
And in that challenge, like it was pretty limited just to landscaping, and even that, like to see just with the landscaping, like no placeables, nothing else, just landscaping and using what's in a starter land, and it was super amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was kind of the intent, right? To give everyone a even playing field, so everyone had access to to the landscaping features, but not everyone has access to a bunch of items. So and still, it was amazing what they created. All right, guys, I'm going to have to call it. I'm going to call it based on where people are. Zodiac is underneath the ground here, which you get from this umbrella. So that's the first place. And then we got Old Master in second place because he's like right here with Zodiac, but Zodiac's just a tiny bit further, but pretty close. And if I just go back through the maze here, I can find out who is in third place based on where they are from here. Let's make sure nobody's in here. Nobody's bouncing around this little area. Would hate to miss somebody. This maze section is next. Then we got a Jack in here in third place. Where'd he go? I saw Jack in there.
Did you find him?
I saw him up in the air, but I didn't actually see where he landed so I just wanted to make sure that. So then we also have Adamark, which would be technically in fourth place based on this placement. So I just want to make sure that I have everyone there. So yeah, Zodiac, Old Master, Jack was on the tree here that kind of blew himself up in the air. I'm not sure if he was just messing around or not, but technically that would be third place, and then fourth place would be Adamark here. So, and then a mention to Super Soju here, who's in pretty far through here too. So pretty amazing. Alrighty, so that is game night. I'm going to go ahead and do the Little Pudgy delegation giveaway now. So let me go ahead and exit out of here and get that going for you guys. I will unshare this for one moment. Just let me get this right here. You guys did absolutely fantastic. Obviously, I'll review the video again to make sure, but I mean I think that's pretty accurate. So we're going to go ahead and do the Little Pudgy delegation. There are, I believe, 26 people. Yep. And let me add this to screen to make it. Just one moment here.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
I would like to believe Pudgy also sometimes. Just to go fishing and get some fishes to craft my
Just want to make sure everyone gets that. Quick shout out to Blood Moon. Happy birthday. All right, here we go, guys. So the 1 out of 26, drum roll. And its time it is, let's see, number 18. So whoever is slot 18 on there is the winner. So congratulations. You guys know who you are, but go ahead and open a Discord ticket so that we can get the Little Pudgy assigned to you. I wanted to quickly just thank Attila here for joining me on game night. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for sharing your knowledge and letting us just go over this. It's been a real fun time. So
thank you for having me.
And if you just remember one last thing before we go here, that if you need to fish at the plot and to go to the leaderboard and to claim your points for credit for the participation tonight. So thanks again for joining. Take it easy.
Thanks. Bye.